NASA continues to postpone the launch date for Starliner's first crewed mission. Since its inception, NASA's Commercial Crew Program has aimed to revolutionize human spaceflight by partnering with private companies to transport astronauts to the International Space Station, ISS, and beyond. With its CST-100 Starliner spacecraft, Boeing has been one of the program's key players, but Starliner's road to its first crewed flight has been far from smooth. Originally slated for a 2017 debut, Starliner's first crewed mission has faced numerous delays due to a series of technical challenges and testing setbacks. These delays have now spanned years, with the spacecraft's launch continually postponed, leaving the space industry and the public wondering when Starliner will finally see its historic first crewed flight. NASA's Commercial Crew Program, a new era in spaceflight. The origins of NASA's Commercial Crew Program date back to 2010 when the space agency decided to collaborate with private companies to develop safe, efficient, and cost-effective crew transport vehicles. This move came in the wake of the Space Shuttle program's retirement in 2011, which left NASA reliant on Russia's Soyuz spacecraft for access to the ISS. In 2014, NASA awarded contracts to Boeing and SpaceX to develop their own crewed spacecraft, Boeing's CST-100 Starliner and SpaceX's Crew Dragon. Both companies were tasked with developing vehicles capable of safely transporting astronauts to and from the ISS. While SpaceX successfully launched its first crewed flight with Crew Dragon in 2020, Boeing has faced multiple hurdles that have kept Starliner from achieving the same milestone. The reasons behind these delays range from software glitches and hardware malfunctions to extensive retesting requirements. Each setback has pushed the launch date further, drawing criticism and raising concerns about the feasibility of Boeing's spacecraft. Timeline of Starliner's delays. Initial planning and delays, 2014 to 2019. When Boeing was awarded the contract in 2014, both Boeing and SpaceX anticipated launching their first crewed missions by 2017. However, Starliner faced delays in parachute testing, structural modifications, and crew safety certification, which pushed the expected launch timeline back by several years. Orbital Flight Test 1. OFT-1. Failure in 2019. Starliner's first uncrewed test flight, Orbital Flight Test 1. OFT-1. took place in December 2019. The mission was meant to test Starliner's ability to dock with the ISS, but a software anomaly caused the spacecraft's clock to be off by 11 hours, preventing it from reaching the ISS. Starliner returned to Earth without completing its objectives, leading to a rigorous review of the spacecraft's software systems. COVID-19 delays and OFT-2 postponements, 2020 to 2021. Following the OFT-1 issues, Boeing and NASA scheduled a second uncrewed flight test, OFT-2, to address the software problems. However, the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted development schedules and supply chains, further delaying OFT-2. When Boeing attempted to launch OFT-2 in 2021, an unexpected issue with propulsion system valves caused the launch to be postponed again, requiring further analysis and repairs. Successful completion of OFT-2 in 2022. In May 2022, Boeing successfully launched OFT-2, which completed all mission objectives, including docking with the ISS. This success was a significant milestone for Starliner, clearing a path for its first crewed flight test. However, further technical requirements emerged as Boeing and NASA worked on finalizing the spacecraft's certification for human flight. Crew Flight Test, CFT, delays, 2023 present. Following OFT-2, Boeing and NASA plan to conduct the Crew Flight Test, CFT, Starliner's first mission with astronauts on board, by late 2022 or early 2023. However, additional concerns about Starliner's parachute systems and wiring forced NASA and Boeing to delay the CFT yet again. As of now, the official launch date for Starliner's first crewed mission remains uncertain, with some speculating that the mission may not happen until 2024. Challenges contributing to the delays. The repeated delays for Starliner's first crewed mission stem from a range of technical challenges and rigorous safety requirements. Here's a look at some of the major issues that have impacted Starliner's development. 1. Software issues. During the OFT-1 mission in 2019, a software error caused the spacecraft to miscalculate its position, preventing it from reaching the ISS. This anomaly required Boeing to implement significant software revisions and adopt more comprehensive testing procedures, which added months to the project's timeline. 2. Propulsion system problems. In 2021, Boeing discovered corrosion in the propulsion system's valves, believed to be caused by moisture exposure. This issue prompted engineers to redesign parts of the system and perform extensive testing, further pushing back the timeline for the spacecraft's crewed launch. 3. Parachute system modifications. Starliner's parachute system, critical for a safe descent, has required multiple redesigns and tests to meet NASA's stringent requirements. Each iteration of the parachute system has been tested in various conditions, but meeting the exacting standards for reliability has taken considerable time. 4. NASA's human rating certification. Certifying a spacecraft for human spaceflight involves rigorous testing and verification to ensure astronaut safety. Starliner has had to undergo additional evaluations for its environmental control, life support systems, and emergency procedures. These comprehensive tests, although essential, have extended the timeline. 5. COVID-19 impacts on development. Like many projects worldwide, the development of Starliner faced delays due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic disrupted supply chains and limited access to testing facilities, further hindering Boeing's ability to stay on schedule. Implications for NASA's space exploration goals. Starliner's repeated delays have broader implications for NASA's human spaceflight program and its long-term exploration goals. 1. Dependence on SpaceX for ISS transport. With Starliner's delays, NASA has relied exclusively on SpaceX's Crew Dragon to transport astronauts to the ISS. Although Crew Dragon has proven reliable, NASA originally intended to have multiple spacecraft available to ensure redundancy and avoid dependence on a single provider. 2. Budgetary concerns. The delays have led to increased costs for Boeing and NASA. Boeing's fixed-price contract with NASA meant that the company was responsible for covering many of the additional expenses, which has impacted its financial performance. Cost overruns have also raised questions about the sustainability of the commercial crew program. 3. Public perception and program confidence. The ongoing delays have affected public perception of the commercial crew program and Boeing's role within it. Each delay raises doubts about Boeing's ability to deliver a reliable and safe crewed spacecraft, which has repercussions for both the company's reputation and the program's credibility. 4. Future crewed exploration missions. Starliner's setbacks could impact NASA's timeline for future missions, including potential lunar and Mars missions. Delays in developing a reliable crewed spacecraft could hinder NASA's ability to meet its ambitious exploration goals within the desired timeframe. NASA and Boeing's commitment to safety. Despite the setbacks, both NASA and Boeing remain committed to ensuring that Starliner is fully certified and safe for crewed missions. NASA has stated that the safety of its astronauts is the top priority, and it will not authorize a crewed launch until it is confident in the spacecraft's performance and reliability. Boeing has also emphasized its commitment to addressing every issue and achieving human-rated certification. Boeing has implemented a comprehensive quality control process to prevent future software and hardware issues. This includes rigorous testing, simulated mission scenarios, and input from NASA's independent safety review panels. Additionally, Boeing is working to improve transparency with NASA and the public by providing regular updates on the status of Starliner's development. The future of Starliner and commercial crew partnerships. The future of Boeing's Starliner program remains uncertain, but there is optimism that the spacecraft will eventually achieve its first crewed flight. Starliner's successful OFD-2 mission demonstrated that the spacecraft is capable of docking with the ISS, and Boeing has made significant progress in addressing the technical challenges that have delayed the program. NASA has reaffirmed its commitment to maintaining multiple providers for crewed missions to ensure redundancy and reduce the risk of disruptions in crew transport. If Starliner succeeds in its crewed flight, it will provide NASA with a second operational spacecraft for ISS missions, enhancing flexibility and resilience within the commercial crew program. Conclusion. The long road to Starliner's first crewed flight. The repeated postponements of Starliner's first crewed mission have tested the patience of NASA, Boeing, and the public. Although the delays have been frustrating, they reflect the high standards of safety and reliability required for human spaceflight. Developing a new crewed spacecraft is an immensely complex and challenging task, and NASA's commitment to astronaut safety means that each technical hurdle must be fully resolved before the spacecraft can carry astronauts. As of now, the exact timeline for Starliner's first crewed flight remains uncertain. However, both NASA and Boeing are determined to see the mission through, and every delay brings them one step closer to a safer, more reliable spacecraft. The lessons learned from Starliner's development could shape the future of human space exploration, influencing everything from spacecraft design to mission planning and safety protocols. Starliner's journey serves as a reminder of the challenges and rewards of human space exploration. Once it finally achieves its first crewed mission, Starliner will mark a new chapter in NASA's commercial crew program and a milestone for Boeing. In the long run, the spacecraft's success could pave the way for expanded access to space and inspire future generations of astronauts, scientists, and engineers.